Hey, welcome to my channel. My name's Adam. I'm a photographer, part-time videographer, and a full-time nerd. Today I want to do an experiment that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. Back in 2010, this is currently 2026, I decided I wanted to start doing photography and some videography as well. So I did some research and I ended up picking up a great camera that was revolutionary for its time. And I still have it to this day. I picked up the Canon T2i, great video specs, 18 megapixel crop sensor camera. And I used it, well, I barely used it. It's been sitting around since 2010, a handful of shoots here and there, but just for fun. Around 7 years ago, I decided to go back into photography. So I picked up a 90D. And with that camera, I even built a studio and I actually started shooting a lot. A lot of clients, thousands of photos, and they're great. So I decided I'm gonna step up to the EOS R when the Mirrorless line came out. And over time, I had the R, couple Rs actually, couple R5s, and then I stepped up to a new camera. Currently, I'm shooting on the R5 Mark II. This camera came out in, I think, mid-2024. So it's a lot newer than this old camera. And I had a thought, can I actually shoot here in my studio with this old camera and get results close to this new camera? And can the clients use them as well? Well, we're gonna do this shoot. We're gonna do a time warp back to 2010 and start with this camera. Stick with me. We're gonna look at the results and find out if this camera can compete with this new camera. Let's get to the time warp. So welcome everybody to the time warp. We are now back in 2010 with the Canon T2i. I'm gonna leave this camera set the same way that my R5 Mark II is set. Same colors, same everything. We're gonna get started shooting. This is Elaine. Hi. Elaine's the beautiful model for the day. We're gonna get her some headshots and she's gonna be experiencing this as well as me for the first time. So as I said in the intro, we don't know if this is gonna work. It might work, it might not work. We're gonna compare this to a camera released in 2024. It's still the newest camera for the R5 line, and we're gonna see if this camera can do the same thing as the R5 Mark II. Stay with us, you'll see the results soon. So this is my new setup here. As you can see, I have a 32-inch monitor, a MacBook Pro, my R5 Mark II, and we're gonna be able to run this shoot where the model's able to see this. She's gonna be able to see her pictures. But again, back in 2010, we didn't have that. So I'm gonna be showing the model the pictures on the back of the screen. Because we don't have an EVF for her to look through the viewfinder and see the EVF. All she gets to see is the back of the screen. I have in the past used a loop on my camera, which allowed somebody to look through an EVF and see this screen a lot bigger, but all it was a magnification of this screen. But we're gonna get this setup started. Oh wait, I'm not a YouTuber yet. Hold on one second. I gotta become a YouTuber. I don't know if you're gonna see this or not. This is a blue light. Am I a YouTuber now? Yes. You might not even see it because we have a lot of light on, so it might not show up. But I put a blue light back there. For all you YouTubers, there is a blue light back there. So I'm a YouTuber. So we're gonna get this shoot started, and we're gonna start with the T2i. And we're gonna work till we get the lights set up right, and you're gonna see the images on the screen from the T2i. I can't show you two of them on the screen that I have set up currently, because this cannot connect to that screen. And that brings us to another point, is when you're using a DSLR, you really have to rely on this back of the screen. I'm not gonna be using my light meter, which I do have, because most people don't have a light meter. Most people are literally looking at the back of the screen. But because I don't have that EVF in here, I can't look through the EVF and see a nice big image. I'm gonna rely on the back of the screen, which means I'm gonna zoom in on the image. I'm gonna look at the image. The backlight looks great. Now I gotta work on the front light. Now once everything's set up, I'm gonna be able to shoot the same image with the R5 Mark II, being as the difference is that's a 45 megapixel camera. This is an 18 megapixel. This is a crop sensor. However, the light transmission at 6.3 is gonna be the same on both cameras. So once the light is set, we're good to go. As of now, we're still back in 2010, getting everything set up. And it's starting to look really good. Right now, there's a mirror in the camera. But when you are in the live view mode, this becomes a mirrorless camera. A lot of people didn't know that. They thought it's a DSLR. But the mirror is up, so it's just a sensor. So with mirrorless cameras versus DSLRs, in live view mode, the focus system is actually a lot better. The T2i actually has not eye tracking, but it has face tracking, but only in the mirrorless mode. So I'm going to work with that now because it's going to help me focus on her better. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
I'll let you see it. Now you see how hopefully it's in the camera. You got the face box now. Now as I'm shooting, because I didn't use a meter, I again am relying on the back of the screen, so I have to keep looking. I think it looks good, but I don't like it. I have to move the lighting around. That's a good thing about having the screen, unlike, you know, film cameras where you didn't know what you got until you shot it. The advantage of when these came out, the biggest advantage was I could shoot all day long. As long as I can keep my battery and my SD card clear, and I can keep looking at the images and analyze the image. With the old cameras with film, you had to literally meter it because you wanted to make sure that the shot was ready to go when you took the shot. If you didn't do that, you could have a shot that's completely messed up. You don't know because you can't look at the back of the screen. That's when this became revolutionary. How was that for some information?
Great.
And right now I'm just shooting basic portraits. The key light's doing most of the work. The background light is giving me the white fill. They might not be the best images, but the key of this video is to compare the two. She's going to get some great images. Even when we're done, we're going to make sure she gets the best images. I am going to jump to a full length later on in this video too, so we can compare the images. Can this do full length? Because remember, we're getting 18 megapixels worth of full length. 18 megapixels is a lot. You might think your cell phone does a lot more, but keep in mind that's a tiny little sensor. This is not a full frame, but it's a crop sensor, and it's a lot bigger than your cell phone. So you're going to get a much better image even at 18 megapixels compared to your phone's 100 megapixel image that's been processed by your phone on a tiny, tiny little sensor. Now we're going to time warp 14 years in the future. Technically, we're 16 years in the future right now, but we're time warping to when that camera was made. So welcome everybody to 2024 and 2026. The reason I say 2024 is because that's when this camera came out. The point of this video is, can the old DSLR from 2010 do the same thing as the new mirrorless camera from 2024? In this case of the new camera, I'm running a tethered setup with a computer. Not only can I see the image, the model can also see the image. And she could see it. I actually took a shot with her. Do you see the difference of looking at that versus looking at that tiny? Which one's better?
This one, 100%.
Now, I want to show you this too because I talked about this before. I'm going to take another image of her. Now, even if I didn't have the monitor and the whole setup, and I was outside, I usually don't take this outside with me. Of course, there's an image on here. You can see that. Of course, we get the image here. And people still to this day, and something as a photographer, it bothers me. You do what you do you. But a lot of people like to take the pictures and they go up to their model and they're showing them the back of the screen. So I am going to show you the back of the screen. With the new cameras, this is a lot brighter than the old camera, so it's going to look better already. The screen is bigger. She's going to have an overall better experience. So I could show you the image. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, now I'm going to have her do something. Do me a favor. Look through the EVF.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Did you hear that? I didn't tell her to say that. You get the
Very
oh wow. Use your EVF. It helps you as a photographer to see the images as you're taking them. And within a second, I can see, is the lighting right? Do things need to be adjusted? With that camera, without a light meter, making sure everything's perfect, I can't tell. I can turn the screen on, I can zoom in, I can even turn the screen brightness all the way up, but I don't get a really good visualization of what that image is going to look like until I put it in a computer and look at it. And when we put it in a computer and look at it, I might be like, oh crap, that doesn't look so good. That's the point of this video. You're finding out with us live, Can the two compete with each other? So now we're just going to keep shooting with this. And here are some of the results that we got while shooting this little section of video. The good thing is my model could actually see the images on the screen as well as I could. And it's really nice to be able to review the images as they came in. Now let's get back to the video. So we have officially time warped again. I'm going to go back to the T2i, and then we're going to switch again to the R5 Mark II. You can't see my screen because it's blocked by the umbrella, but I'll move it later. But you don't need it now because remember, we're back in 2010. So we're going to stick with the 2010 setup. Now what I want you to see here is I'm doing full body so we can see the 18 megapixel with a wider shot. But I do want to show you the difference you'll see on the screen. And here are some of the results full body that we got with the T2i. You'll also notice with the focus, I did switch from the optical viewfinder back to the live view because the live view definitely gives you a far superior autofocus with that face tracking. Now, it's not an eye tracking for sure. The R5 Mark II definitely tracks better. But again, are the results good? Let's get back to the video. Again, the whole point of this video is not about just newer technology. Is it much better to use? Clearly it is. As time goes on, things get easier. The cameras are far superior. The point is, can this do what that can do? The whole key is the final image. It has nothing to do with the whole reaction. Yes, do I dislike using this camera over an R5 Mark II? Of course, of course. But I have this camera, so maybe I can just play around and use it. So we're going to check out the images at the end, but right now we're going to time warp back to 2024. Time warp forward, not back. This isn't back to the future. And here are some of the results with the R5 Mark II. It's definitely much better to be back on my EVF, as well as using the screen for the model to review the images. It just makes for a much better overall experience. So now that we've done that, we're going to look at all these images. We're going to compare them. Again, can a T2i from 2010 do what an R5 Mark II can do from 2024? We're going to review those now and see, can they do the same thing? Can this one come close? Can it do the same thing? The answer is no. Can it do the same results that we're going to use? The answer might be yes, because it all comes down to what we use. LinkedIn, phones, Facebook, Instagram. These are all things that we look at little images. We're not pixel peeping on those. I'm a pixel peeper on my computer, and I'm going to look at the images. I'm going to see the difference. But when we put them on social media, when we put them on the websites, the images are so small. A lot of times we have to downgrade these images a lot, where I don't have to down. These still need to be downgraded as well. They're going to lose quality to begin with. So if it's close to this quality and it's usable, use the camera you have. Because if you're not using the camera, you're not getting any shots. I'm also going to have Elaine come over and look at the images, and we're going to take the card out of here, put it in the computer, and she's going to see these as well. Stick around. So we're now going to review the images. We're starting with the T2i images. I already have one up on screen, and I'll put it on the screen for you to see. In looking at this image, what do you think?
I think it looks great.
Now, another thing I want to do is, because we're here looking at the image, let's zoom in on the image.
A lot of detail.
A lot of detail. This is the T2i. It looks great.
Yep.
It really does. I'm actually surprised. I'll open up another one. Now here's a full length shot. We're looking at detail. You can see where the detail does start to fall off.
Right.
Because the DSLR also, you see how many pixels you see here? You see all the pixelation, the detail, everything's pixeled there. And we talked about that. In terms of the headshots though,
Wow.
when you have an eyelash in your eye, I mean, I could see every detail. And again, this is the T2i. Now, when I do zoom in a lot, you see the pixels start, you see all the pixelation.
Yeah.
And it's starting to become very apparent.
I mean, you have to zoom in a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to zoom in a lot.
Yeah.
Again, but for social media, we're looking at this. Let's go back to some of the full length again, too. I'm just clicking through images. Like, here's a full length images. I put this on social media. this is going to beat 99% of cell phones. Cheap cameras. This is still, at this point, considered a cheaper camera, even though when I bought it, it was like $1,000. And that was back in 2010. So we take an image like this and we're looking at as a whole. Looks good.
Looks great.
If we zoom in, we might start to see, the pixelation, but still looks great. So now I've pulled up the images from the R5 Mark II. And she's never done this before, like kind of pixel peep these images. So we're going to catch a live thought of somebody that's never done this before. Let's pull up a similar image. Now, from here, when I'm not zoomed in, let's just talk about the image quality. How does it look compared to the other one?
I mean, I think they're both have good quality.
Yeah, they're both the same. I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
No,
I can't say it's like.
Now, remember we zoomed in on the eyes. You see a difference?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 45 megapixel versus 18 megapixel. Yeah, we have more details.
A lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more.
Remember the softbox that was really broken up? I don't break in until I zoom in all the way there. And then also look at the full body shot. Let's grab one of these. And she's looking at images that I'm just pulling up randomly without her approval, going, no, I don't want to see it. She looks great. So these images are amazing. So again.
No, a lot more.
A lot more detail.
Yeah.
But here.
But they're, yeah, I would say they're both good.
Yeah.
Good quality.
Just look, and this is a 32-inch monitor, and you don't see anything. Most people look at images on their phones, which is a lot smaller. So can the T2i, step over here.
Where? Here.
Right there. Okay. So you see the images here. You saw the images from both the T2i, which is an old camera, and a newer camera. Can the T2i do what the R5 Mark II did in this situation?
It can. Unless
It can.
you need specifically like to zoom in or something,
Right.
It can.
It can.
Yeah.
So am I happy with this experiment? Yes. To be honest, I had less faith in the T2i looking as good as it does. I knew it takes good images. It's 18 megapixels. Even though it sounds 18 to 45 sounds like a gigantic jump, it's not as big as you might think. And you can see that. You can see the images on your screen. You see her reaction. You see my reaction. The images, they look pretty damn good on both cameras. But guess what? I'm not going to use my T2i. I'm going to use my R5 Mark II. The technology, you can't beat it. The EVF, you can't beat the EVF. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want your information on screen, I could put her information on there too. I think she has Instagram.
Yeah.
And see you next time.
Bye.